Hey, what's up, everyone? Still in a video making mood, so I figured that I would make a video. But I guess I'm spurred by kind of what happened earlier today, and I kind of felt it would be a good topic to talk about. Um, so I guess just right out the door, this is going to be about social connection, social interaction. It doesn't have to necessarily apply to people in recovery, but I really do believe that having a, an adequate social support group of friends and families and even some acquaintances is really important for maintaining a successful recovery. And honestly, I never thought, you know, a few years ago, I never would have thought that was, necessary. I mean, even still, since I moved in here, it's kind of a new uh, revelation. I mean, it's something that I heard about a whole bunch, but I didn't really put it into practice until moving here and volunteering at the Recovery Cafe consistently. So, I guess one thing that comes to mind is the Rat Park experiment. I don't know if I've mentioned it on any previous videos, and I don't know if any of you that are watching have heard of it. I highly encourage you to look it up. It's a really interesting kind of experiment. Uh, the long, I mean, short answer is rats that were isolated by themselves, they had much higher rates of substance use of the use of the water that was laced with cocaine or I think morphine as well. But if the rat was put into kind of this rat utopia and they had access to everything they wanted, food, they had obviously a pretty decent shelter, but most importantly, they had other rats in there that they could interact with, and have sex, etc. And those rats had very, very, very low rates of substance use. So yeah, I really encourage you to look it up. It's a really cool study experiment, but it does a really great job of highlighting the importance of social connection. Another kind of good something to look into is I believe it was a TED Talk. There's someone by the name of Johan Hari, and he has this quote that I really like, and that's kind of the motto of the Recovery Cafe. But he says, addiction is not or sobriety is not the opposite of addiction, connection is. So it's like, well, if someone's addicted, they just need sobriety. And in my personal experience and what I've observed in others and heard from others, is that's not the case. It seems that those that are the most successful and the ones that are most happy in their lives are the ones that have incorporated that social connection on some level or another. And that's also why going to meetings, like a 12-step meeting, or I'm a big fan of Smart Recovery, but it just kind of gives, especially if you go consistently to the same one, that becomes your home group, and you start to get to know the people really well, or at least better than just, oh hey, yeah, this is my first time seeing you and talking. So that can help as well. But the reason why I wanted to make this video is so earlier today, I have my recovery circle at the cafe at 1 p.m. on Saturdays, and I like to go in person. There's an opportunity you can go via Zoom, but it just doesn't have quite the same effect for me. It's convenient, but just not quite the same effect. And then also, I always like highlight this as a huge benefit, but it's true. It's a free lunch. It's a free good lunch. But there's so many more benefits to the cafe. But yeah, but I guess I think I mentioned Maslow's hierarchy in previous videos, or maybe just video, but I mean, you really need that base physiological needs like food, water, because if those aren't met, you can't reach those higher levels, especially the self-actualization piece at the very top. So it's cool that just the model of the cafe. But anyway, so when I went in, and I go early enough to be able to grab lunch and eat lunch before my circle starts. Well, so as you guys, if you've watched the previous video or few videos, I've been doing the peer support training online, and my last class was Friday. It was Monday through Friday for 4 hours each day, which isn't that bad at all. And but because of the time, I wasn't able to go down and volunteer at the cafe at all because of the overlap. So today was my first day back in the cafe since last Saturday, and so only a week, only 7 days, but it was interesting. When I went in, there were actually quite a few people that seemed delighted to see me, and pretty much said so. I mean, like, oh hey, it's good to see you. Not like in a way it didn't sound like they were like worried that I had like relapsed or anything like that, but it was more of a, hey, we like you being here in the cafe, especially volunteering, you're a positive force. Now don't get me wrong, I mean, it's not like, I mean, if I were to pass away or stop volunteering, I mean, the cafe would still go on as it does, but so it's not like I'm vital to the operation. All the volunteers help tremendously, so that's not just mine to claim. But it's cool though, because it's like, you're doing something right in your recovery, and just doing something right in your life. If it's only been 7 days, you go in and you have like, it was like 5, maybe like 7 people that were like, oh hey, yeah, it's good to see you, we missed you this week. So but yeah, I just wanted to talk about it because it's you think that wouldn't have too much of an effect, or like, okay, so what, big deal, but for some reason it had a really profound effect on me today. I had missed the cafe and kind of just the operation of it and being able to volunteer, but most importantly, I missed the people there too. So the fact that that's kind of reciprocal is really awesome. From the sounds of it, I'm glad I can be maybe a small piece of someone's recovery, just as they are a small piece of my recovery. So yeah, it was awesome. And then of course had a great lunch and a great circle. So yeah, so I highly encourage, because I'm extremely introverted too, that's why I've been really opposed to forming social connections for a lot of my life. I think that's just how that was my upbringing. Not that my parents did anything wrong, but we did move around to several states throughout my childhood. And I was a pretty hardcore gamer too, so it's like I was usually just isolated by myself, and it's kind of stayed that way for a lot of it. I mean, I'd go out every so and then, but yeah, I just struggle with that isolation. And there's a time and a place for solitude, for that alone time, especially if you are introverted. But all of your time can't be alone time, at least for me. And again, what I've heard and seen in others, there needs to be some sort of consistent, valuable social interaction. And like the people at the cafe, I wouldn't say like we're great friends or even maybe friends for many, but it's at least more than like acquaintance, like a little bit more than acquaintance. And so just having those people in my life have helped so much. And going in there, I have such meaningful connection with the people in the cafe, that I feel like that and living in the sober living house, those two are like the main reasons why I'll be hitting 6 months clean on the 26th. So yeah, so I just wanted to make that. I highly encourage everyone that watches this video to, I'm not saying like run out and go make friends or like run out and go do a whole bunch of stuff in a social setting, but I encourage you all to just do a little bit of reflection, a little bit of introspection. Yeah, whatever. And I don't know, just ask yourself and just see how, like, just kind of think about how do you spend a lot of your time. Is it mostly by yourself, other than like work or school? Or would you say that you have some sort of daily interaction, whether that be a phone call or maybe a few text messages, but particularly I feel that in-person interaction is going to be the most profound. So I encourage you guys to kind of just self-analyze and see, like, oh yeah, maybe I have been spending a lot of time by myself. I've been isolated. Maybe I should go, go to some persons or some meetings in person versus Zoom. That way you get that effect a little bit better. But hold on. I'm extremely fortunate to where there's a pretty strong recovery community where I live. So I know it's not like this in every single city, but in addition to kind of just the introspection, I really encourage you all to try to look online and see if there are any recovery resources, or especially like just any sort of recovery activities where you live. And if there's something, I highly encourage get involved in that. And it could be slow too, it could just be like, all right, I'm gonna do this for one time a week. I mean, it could kind of slowly build it up, so that way it's like you're going multiple times a week, or like you're volunteering. So yeah, I highly encourage it. It's been very important for my recovery, and it's been very important for my happiness too. Just feeling loved by many people. It's a good feeling. So I think what I'm gonna do is eat some ice cream. I just ate a whole pizza. Well, I have one slice left, but eat some ice cream, or maybe the last slice. And then I'm like 95% certain I'm gonna do a little bit of streaming tonight. I haven't decided. I really want to find something that's a more interesting game, and that's something that's not as commonly seen online from like people doing streams or YouTube videos. But either way, I mean, I still want to do the Neverwinter, and I also have Mega Man X3 that I've still been working on. So if I can't think of anything, it'll most likely be those two. So yeah. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this video was helpful or inspiring in some degree. Yeah, so I hope you guys have a good weekend, and I'll see you all next time.